Calling all Mint City members, it looks like our front office is not willing to take any chances with our depth chart this season. A sudden tough injury to a young draft pick forced Carolina to scramble for a reliable answer out wide. We just signed an intriguing veteran to a one-year contract to provide immediate stability and battle for meaningful reps. Drop a like, share your opinion in the comments, and subscribe to our channel right now. John Metchie signed a one-year contract with the Carolina Panthers to provide much-needed reinforcements for our receiving room. This move arrives at a pivot point for our squad, as the organization scrambles to fill the void left by Chris Brazzell, who is now unfortunately ruled out for the entire upcoming campaign. We are looking at a front office that clearly prioritizes veteran experience after watching our pass catching group endure such heavy turnover over these past few months. Metchie brings a specific edge, having previously logged time on the perimeter during his tenure with the New York Jets. Last season, he recorded 11 receptions for 108 yards. A modest professional start that our coaching staff is clearly hoping to build upon here in Charlotte. And the more I look at this, the question of whether this is a simple depth signing or a signal of deeper concern remains front and center. According to Moe Moton at Bleacher Report, there is a legitimate belief that Metchie could actually win the battle for the backup slot receiver position. Moton points out that while Jimmy Horn Jr. has shown promise, his smaller stature might limit his versatility compared to what Metchie offers on the field. Does this move effectively close the door on other roster hopefuls like David Moore and Bryce Young? Or are we just seeing the front office cycle through options to find who best fits this system? With Bryce Young needing reliable outlets to move the chains, every snap in this competition holds significant weight for our offensive success. Can this veteran provide the stabilization we need if injuries strike our top 3 targets again? Or are we looking at a team still desperately searching for consistent production behind Leggett, Coker, and McMillan? Why would a team already committed to young prospects suddenly pivot toward a veteran like John Metchie? The logic feels clear when you consider how quickly our receiving depth vanished once Chris Brazzell was officially ruled out. What nobody is talking about is the specific calculation the front office made regarding his professional background and how that contrasts with the unproven upside of our current roster. Having already logged professional snaps, Metchie brings a level of familiarity with top-tier defensive schemes that players like Jimmy Horn Jr. simply cannot match yet. While Horn certainly possesses natural talent, his smaller frame creates legitimate concerns about his long-term durability in this specific system, particularly when facing physical defensive backs. Moe Moton of Bleacher Report suggests this move could realistically push the veteran into the backup slot role, potentially displacing younger guys fighting for their lives. Honestly, my first reaction to the signing was mixed. I worry if this reflects a genuine lack of belief in the development of our secondary options, like Bryson Tremaine or David Moore. If the coaching staff truly felt satisfied with their existing talent, would they reach out for a one-year deal like this? It is a fair question for every fan to ask, especially with Bryce Young needing consistent targets who understand exactly where to be during critical third-down conversions. Carolina is essentially placing a calculated bet that the professional habits Metchie gained from his time with the New York Jets will provide the stability our offense desperately requires. We are looking at a roster undergoing a necessary evolution where finding reliable, safe hands has finally superseded the hunt for pure flash and speed. Will this gamble pay off, or is it merely a stopgap measure for a group still trying to find its permanent identity? That covers the immediate update, but shifting toward what this signing actually means for our outlook, we are witnessing a front office making a cold, calculated move to address a glaring roster weakness. The arrival of John Metchie on a one-year deal underscores the urgency to stabilize a unit reeling from the loss of Chris Brazzell. Think about it this way. We are no longer just looking at camp depth, but rather evaluating how a veteran can bridge the gap when our top starters require rest. The financial and roster implications are real. Carolina is essentially signaling that the current internal talent pool might not provide enough safety for Bryce Young to operate effectively. If we consider the upcoming schedule, having a receiver who understands professional nuances becomes vital during the grind of midseason matchups where every single down counts. Does this move finally stabilize the slot, or are we just papering over the cracks before the real tests begin? Many fans worry about what this means for younger prospects like Jimmy Horn Jr., especially since Metchie brings that specific perimeter experience from his time in the league. Our division rivals certainly aren't slowing down, and for us to remain competitive, this transition from relying on total unknowns to using proven professional bodies is an absolute necessity. If this experiment fails, the front office faces an even harder question about their player evaluation process as the season rolls on. It is an honest gamble on a player with a limited sample size, yet the desperation for reliable hands makes this a necessary risk. We need to see if Metchie can truly turn those 11 receptions from last year into the consistent production that finally helps us move the chains when the game is on the line. Prioritizing veteran reliability makes logical sense when the receiving room faces such heavy turnover, especially given the unfortunate news that third-round pick Chris Brazzell is out for the upcoming campaign. We are looking at a front office that clearly recognizes the need for seasoned hands to support Bryce Young. Signing John Metchie to a one-year contract provides exactly that type of insurance policy. And here's why that's a big deal. Analysts are already suggesting the organization views him as a legitimate challenger for a backup slot position rather than just another camp body. According to Moe Moton at Bleacher Report, Metchie offers a versatility that younger prospects like Jimmy Horn Jr. might lack due to differences in physical stature. While the upside of guys like David Moore and Bryson Tremaine is easy to root for, the reality is that our offense needs consistent production to move the chains. My honest take here is that this signing highlights a lack of total confidence in our younger depth pieces to carry the load alone. If we were fully satisfied with the current roster, would we be scouring the market for outside help? I am not entirely sold that Metchie is the ultimate answer, but his 11 receptions for 108 yards last season provide at least some baseline of professional experience. The risk, of course, is whether he can truly thrive in this specific system or if we are just burning valuable practice snaps on a stopgap. Is this move effectively closing the door on the youth movement, or are we just watching the coaching staff cycle through every possible option to find a rhythm? Finding stability is the primary objective, and whether this gamble helps us stabilize the offense if injuries strike our top 3 targets remains the biggest question looming over our season. When you weigh the news of John Metchie joining us on a one-year deal against the broader state of this receiving room, the picture that emerges is one of cautious, calculated stabilization. For the franchise, this isn't just about filling a roster spot after losing Chris Brazzell to injury, but rather a clear signal that the front office expects higher reliability from our pass catchers to help Bryce Young find his footing. As Carolina Panthers fans, we should feel a sense of relief that the team isn't just standing pat, as bringing in a veteran with proven professional snaps is exactly the type of safety net we require during this transition. The part fans are not ready for is the possibility that this move isn't just a patch, but a direct indicator that the coaching staff remains uneasy about the development of young players like Jimmy Horn Jr. and Bryson Tremaine. I am genuinely curious